it says chair. It says chair, but I won't be up here. Don't worry, I'm not the funny one. My name's Alan Morrison, and all I'm here for is to say welcome on behalf of the Edinburgh International Book Festival to tonight's lovely sunny day at the Baillie Gifford tent. And this event is sponsored by the List magazine, so thank you to them. I've just got some of the boring things to say at the beginning. It's okay to tweet during the show if you want, and try and do it a wee bit discreetly so that it doesn't annoy your neighbours, but can you make sure that your phones are on silent if you are using them? There will be plenty of time after Limmy's read some bits from the book. There'll be plenty of time for some questions from the audience as well. We have microphones, so if you do want to ask a question, can you put your hand up and Limmy will point to you. Can you wait till the microphone comes to you before you speak so that everybody else can actually hear it? There'll then be a signing afterwards. Now, if you came in here, you might have noticed that right next to here is the signing area beside the bar, so you'll be there for a while after the event here to sign books as well. There are bars do hang around, even if it is a rainy night. Don't worry, everything's under the roofs, and we would love you to just enjoy this Edinburgh International Book Festival event. So, without further ado, I think I should say, over to the man himself. Now, comedian, TV star, internet star, and author, Limmy.
Hello, everybody. All right. Hello. Fucking magic. Brilliant. Brilliant. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you very much. Hello. Hello, everybody. My name's Limmy, and welcome to my Daft Wee Stories. Now, I know what you're maybe thinking. I know what some of you are maybe thinking. Right, what the fuck is this? A book reading. If you're like me and I've been to a book reading before, you may be wondering, right, what the fuck is this? Is he really just reading for a book? Is he just going to be reading for a book, is he? Aye. No, but it's going to be so much more than that. Here's what I've got lined up for you this evening, folks. Tonight I'm going to be reading you some of my favourite stories for the book. I'm going to be telling you some interesting things about each of the stories. Sort of things that'll make you go, that's interesting. And then after that, we're going to have a Q&A, which means questions and answers, which will give you a chance to ask me questions about where I get my zany ideas from. Yes or no, yeah. And then after that, we'll have a book signing. I'll sign your books, DVD covers, tickets, anything you want. And in case you're wondering, I'll even sign your arse. All right? So he's up for that? Yay! Glad to hear it, thank fuck. But I know that he's only here just because of the book. You're probably here because you like some of my other stuff, like Limmy's show on my Vines or something like that. But you wouldn't want to hear me do any of that. Oh, all right then. All right then. That's a bit of a surprise, all right. Well, listen, tonight it really is all about the book. But here's what I'll do. How's about I do some Limmy show stuff, some Vine stuff, just now, just at the beginning here, just to sort of get it out of the way, right? Just to sort of get it out of our system. You know, that way, nobody will be tempted to shout out any of the catchphrases while I'm doing the book stuff. You know, I don't want to be halfway through reading one of my stories just for one who used to go like that. Requiem! I think I kind of put his off a wee bit. You want to hear some of that? Yeah! All right. I see. Let me think. You see, you put me on the spot here. All right, listen to this. Greetings, travellers. My name is Falconhoof, and I will be your guide on your quest. That's him at the way. Thank you, thanks. Thanks a lot, cheers. Thanks. Here, listen to this. I lost 3 years of my life to heroin. Another 5 years of methadone program that's meant to get us off it. That's her out the way. Thanks a lot, cheers. Thanks, appreciate it. Here, who's this? Fucking... Will we know about finishing crying? I've got no business being in your camp. Dannon. And that's him out the way. I now open the floor up to requests. That accent. Bit dangerous staying in Edinburgh. It's a fight for accent, it's not an Edinburgh accent. That accent, I tell you, your behaviour last night was shocking, eh? Shocking. Yeah. Raymond D, do you understand this? Ecky, I'm coming to get you in! A wee mega mix on the go here. Just turn the race against us! Yeah. And how about one more? The plasterer? You're right, Hen, that should have been Sandy Dunn. I said don't tell the boss, but I'm the boss. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, cheers. Thanks. Well, I better go on with reading some stories now, because if I don't, well, some of you might be asking for a refund, and oh, fuck that. So you want to hear some Daft Wee Stories? Yeah. All right, let me just get comfortable here. Don't listen, talk amongst yourselves here so you don't hear me fucking drink. Yeah. All right, this first story here is called The Size of Sally. Let the story commence. I should sit here, really, shouldn't I? Let the story commence. There was something up with Sally. She wasn't feeling too well. She felt sluggish and stiff. She felt heavy. That wasn't right. Not for somebody like her, somebody who kept herself fit and active. Yet she felt like an old woman. An old woman who smokes 60 a day and eats burgers for breakfast. She went to the doctor, and right away you could tell something was up. So much so that when she walked into the room, he sprang out his chair to help her get to her seat. She was in a bad way. When she sat down, he asked her if she'd been getting enough exercise. She said that wasn't it. He asked her if she smoked or liked a drink or whatever. She shook her head. He asked her if she'd been feeling down, if there'd been a bereavement, if she was prone to mood swings. She said it was none of that. It was nothing she could explain. She'd looked it up on the NHS site and forums and everything else. There was just no explanation. There weren't any lumps, there wasn't any pain, the stiffness wasn't in any one place, it was all here. She was starting to lose her patience. And then she collapsed. The doctor phoned an ambulance and she was rushed to hospital where they brought her up. The doctor phoned an ambulance and she was rushed to hospital where they prodded and poked and did some scans. There appeared to be something wrong with the scanning machine. It was getting some strange results. So they did another round. But it was the same thing. That couldn't be right. It couldn't be. They scanned somebody else. They were fine. Then another. They were fine as well. Then they scanned Sally once more, but there were the strange results yet again. Sally's heart monitor started going haywire. They were going to have to operate. The surgeon started with one of her fingers, somewhere inconspicuous, a wee cut at the end of her left thumb. He was reluctant to jump in head first with a slice right down her belly, regardless of what the scan said, because the scans defied belief. He just wanted a peek. He pulled the skin apart at the cut and saw that the scans were right. Dear God. He cut open the rest of her fingers, then her arms, then everything. He cut her open like a teddy bear being torn apart at the seams and revealed what was inside. It was Sally. Inside Sally was Sally. Another Sally. It was like the inner Sally had been wearing the outside Sally as some kind of Sally suit. But now it was gone, and she woke up feeling refreshed and reinvigorated. Back to her old self, albeit a wee bit smaller. They peeled away the rest of her skin, got her all cleaned up, and then they asked her what she wanted to be called. Well, she couldn't keep her old name. She was a new person, in effect. The computer wouldn't allow it. She liked her name, though, so she says, I know, call me Sally 2. Sally 2 walked out of the hospital and right back into her life, feeling better than ever, faster, lighter. After a month or two, she began to slow down. But she put that down to her body just settling in. Then, no long after that, she started to feel even slower, sluggish and stiff, heavy, until she didn't feel too well at all. Then she collapsed. An ambulance was phoned and back to the hospital she came for some more prodding and poking and another few scans. Only this time, there was no hesitation. She was wheeled to the operating theatre as quick as a flash, where the surgeon cut her from head to toe with one big swish of a knife, like she was a box of flat-pack furniture. And inside Sally 2 was, you guessed it, another Sally. Sally. Well done. Sally 3 was smaller again, but identical in every other way. She woke up, refreshed and reinvigorated, before getting cleaned up, dressed and walking right out of there, feeling even better than before. 2 weeks later, she was back, and out popped an even smaller Sally. That's the spirit. Sally 4 walked right out of there, before collapsed in a hospital car park. Back she came, and out popped Sally, who collapsed right there on the bed. Sally 6 was fine, though, for the best part of a year. But then she died. She was taken to the morgue, where they cut her open for a post-mortem, only to find Sally 7 dead. They cut her open, only to find Sally 8 also dead. So was Sally 9. But when they cut her open, to their surprise, out popped Sally 10, refreshed and reinvigorated and all round to go. All 2 foot of her. But then she died. Fuck's sake. They decided to bury Sally 10, to put her out the misery of this Russian doll carry-on, to let the woman have some peace, for heaven's sake. Plus, it's a nice round number, isn't it? So they put her in a coffin and stuck her in the ground. Some years passed when they mentioned a Sally 1 to 10. But after a while, people began to talk. They began to wonder. Sally 10 was dead, aye, but what about Sally 11? Or Sally 12? What had they done? And what would they find? So out came the shovels and the coffin was dug up. As curious as they were, nobody was in any rush to be the one to open it. The surgeon stepped forward, and quite rightly. He leaned down and pulled off the lid, then stood aghast at what was inside. The coffin was full to the brim with layer upon layer of dried up Sally skin. It was like puff pastry. It looked like all that crumpled paper you get inside a shoebox. Except there were no shoes. And no Sally. Sally was gone. They cleaned out the coffin carefully, looking for what might be a wee Sally 15. Or a tiny Sally 30. Or a minuscule Sally 100. They couldn't find her. Not even with a microscope. Not even with the best microscope in the world, mate. But she was there. Sally 1,000. Higher. Sally 1,000,000. Much higher. Sally 1,000,000,000. Even higher than that. And therefore, even smaller. So small that she had slipped between the fibres of the coffin. Then she slipped into the space between the atoms. And then she slipped between space itself. So small that she slipped between hours, minutes, and seconds. She slipped between the smallest definition of a moment. She slipped between time. She was so small that she slipped between knowledge. Infinitesimally small. She slipped between and beyond understanding itself. Now, think for a moment about how small that is. Try and wrap your head around something so small. Can you do it? Well, see that size? That sure does, cock. Thank you very much. I hope that was worth the wait. Sorry, by the way. So I told you I was going to tell you some interesting things about each of the stories. What can I tell you about that? Well, I wrote that story one day and I was having a bit of a creative block, kind of writer's block. I was sitting in this cafe and I couldn't come up with any ideas. And I said to myself, right, you've got to write something based on something you see in this cafe. Right, it's got to be something you see and hear, because sometimes if you're writing and you've just got this blank screen in front of you, you've just got so many options, you don't really know what to go for. Sometimes it's good to give yourself limitations. Limitations. Belter, isn't it? Done. How's it going, my man? He's had enough of this. It wasn't you appointed to, was it, with it? Because I don't know anything about your dad. Limitations. So I was looking about, and there on the wall there was a painting, and there were flyers for clubs and bands and that, and behind the counter was the staff. But up there on a shelf is these Russian dolls. They're all opened out, you know, kind of there's a big one, a weird one that goes in that, a weird one that goes in that, and I just started writing. That's where I got the idea for that story. That's what that story's based on. Except that's not entirely true. It's based on your dad's cock. Sorry. No, it was really based on the Russian dolls. Oh, was it? Right, this next story. Here, what's this summer been like? What's this summer been like? Shite, isn't it? Been shite. Well, don't worry about it, because see this next story. It's going to bring a wee bit of the summer in here. It's called Hazy Days of Summer. It was just one of the days. It was one of the crazy, hazy days of summer. Something about that heat just goes straight to your head, doesn't it? Puts your brain in holiday mode. Makes you think you're 1,000 miles away with that care in the world. Aye, that's the best way I can put it. Your brain goes in holiday. It stops working. That wouldn't have been a problem if I actually was on holiday with nothing to do. But as it turned out, I did have something to do. Well, no something I had to do. No way I was doing something I had to do on a beautiful day like that. It was something I wanted to do. Two things I wanted to do, to be precise. The first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to thank the postman for what he did. It was nothing really. I'd been waiting for a parcel, recorded delivery, but I really fancied nipping out of the shops for a Solero. It's just one of the things I like getting when the sun's out. I used to do the same thing with a can of Lout, but I don't know if you get them anymore. Anyway, the thing was, that if I wasn't in to collect the parcel, well, it would get sent back to the depot. I'd have to walk there and back. Kind of defeats the purpose of getting something delivered, doesn't it? Plus, I'd probably have to search the house for my passport to show them at the depot. And by the way, don't tell me you don't need a passport. A mate told me that once, but when I got to the depot, they said I did need it and I had to walk all the way back. Turned the house upside down looking for the thing. Couldn't fucking find it. The last time I took that guy's advice, let me tell you. You get mates like that, don't you? Oh, you're just flying down to London? Oh no, you don't need your passport if you're flying down to London. Domestic flights, you don't need your passport. Domestic flight, no. You get their passport, please. Fucking bastard. You keep your fucking mouth shut. Anyway, that didn't matter because of what the postman did. I nipped here to get a Solero, I just decided to go for it. I thought it'd only take a minute, but when I got there, I ended up getting caught up in this conversation with the guy behind the counter when I asked him if he had any Lout. I don't even know if I wanted a can, I was just wondering if they still sold them. He didn't know what it was, so I was trying to describe it to him. It's harder than you think. I mean, what does it taste like anyway? Totally tropical. What else? Pineapple and grapefruit. See, I couldn't remember. Anyway, I realised I'd been there for 10 minutes or something, and I thought, fuck. I nearly ran out without paying. Then when I tried to pay, I dropped half my cash in the flare. I was out of the fucking place. That's what happens when you try to do something too fast sometimes. Like try to get your jacket zipped down or untying your laces. You just get in a muddle and it ends up taking you longer. I managed to pay him, then I sprinted out the door. I was 99% sure I was too late. I thought, well, I'll make a run for it. But I was pretty sure I'd be taking that walk to the depot anyway. But listen to this. Guess what happened? The postman stopped me outside the shop. He had the parcel on him and he asked me if I just wanted to sign for it right there and then. I think that is brilliant. I think that is brilliant. Come on. That is brilliant. I think that's the mark of a good postman who's good at his job. When he actually recognises the people he delivers to and does things like that. He didn't have to do that. He could have just taken it back to the depot. It was my fault after all, diving there for the Solero and going on about fucking Lout. Before I got the chance to thank him, he was off. But there was no way I was letting that go without giving him a hefty pat in the back. I told myself that when I got up the road, I was going to phone his work to thank him and tell him how much I thought he was doing a cracking job. And fingers crossed that his boss was listening in. You know, so he got brownie points and a wee pay rise or whatever. He deserved it. So that was the first thing I wanted to do. The other thing I wanted to do that day was I wanted to kill the guy that murdered my dad. They said it was an accident. They said it wasn't a murder. But it fucking was. When you show that degree, see, getting a muddle. When you show that degree of negligence, you prove yourself to have no respect for the safety of another man's life. And to me, that's murder. But here's the funny thing. I got mixed up. It's like what I said about it being just one of the days. You see, what was in the parcel was the thing I was going to use to kill Craig Malloy, the guy that murdered my dad. It was a trench knife, a kind of spiked knuckle duster with a knife coming out the side. You can get them online. When I took it out of the box, I think I must have got too excited, just wanted to get on with it. It's like what I was saying about trying to do something too fast, you just get in a muddle. A trench knife for Craig Malloy in a parcel for the postman. Parcel, Craig Malloy, trench knife, postman, know what I mean? And if you keep in mind the heat of that day, that heat that just goes straight to your head, it was no wonder what happened. Before I had time to know what I was doing, I chased the postman up a tenement close and stabbed the utter fuck at him on the stairs. Can't remember how many times it was a blur. All I remember is him shouting at me saying that he didn't kill my dad. But I was like, now, you would fucking say that. Then I headed back to the house and gave Craig Malloy a phone. I told him I thought he was cracking. Told him that I thought what he did was considerate and thoughtful. And, oh my God, I can't even tell the rest. What an embarrassment. I can feel my face going red. But you got to laugh, man. You've got to. If you don't laugh, you'll greet. I'm shaking my head just thinking about it, but what can I say? It was just one of the days. Thanks. Thanks a lot. That fucking rain. Can you hear me all right? Yes, good, thanks. No, right, you want to come up here, whoever that was. I'll read it to you later, don't worry about it. Aye, so in that story there, I've got a guy called Craig Malloy, but it was originally Billy Malloy, who just happens to be my cousin. And I say just happens to be because when I wrote it, I didn't mean to type that name, it's just the first name that came in my head, a name that came into my head. Billy Malloy. I was like, Billy Malloy? That's my cousin. Billy, is it? How'd you get here? Hello. It's yourself, Billy. So I thought, well, I'll keep his name in, and if I ever bump into him, well, I'll say, did you see that I stuck you in the book? And hopefully he'd like it. But I thought, actually, I'm not that sure, because the thing is with Billy Malloy, I don't actually know him that well. He's one of these cousins I've only bumped into about twice my whole life. He's about 10 years old. I don't actually know him that well. He could be a right moody bastard for all I know. Like, I could bump into him and say, oh, Billy, did you see that I stuck you in the book? And he could be like, aye, what you got me murdering your dad? What's that all about? What's the matter with you? Now, you get moody bastards like that. I'm not saying he is. I don't know. But it didn't matter, because about a month later, I bumped into Craig Malloy, who's my other cousin. It might even be Billy's son. And he's a younger, sort of happier guy. I'm not saying Billy isn't happy. I don't know. But I said to him, I told him the story. I says, I've got Billy Malloy in the book. I'm not sure if I should have him. And he says, I think you're thinking about it a bit too much. I says, well, listen, see to be on the safe side, can I stick your name in? because I quite fancy sticking the name Malloy in. I think it's quite a funny name. I didn't tell him that, obviously. So he said, all right, so that's why he's in. But the thing is, I don't know if my dad's all right with it. I've not told my dad. My dad might know, but my dad might bump into Craig Malloy and say, aye, so you murdered me, did you, aye? Let you see you fucking try, son. Craig might be like that. Well, you think I fucking couldn't, you old prick? You fucking call me, you fucking heard you. Boom, boom, boom. Craig Malloy murders my dad. For real. Book sales would go like that. So fingers crossed, eh? Right, this next story, this is going to be the last story before we go for the Q&A and book signing. I don't mind if you rush away to go to the toilet for your pishies and shites and all the rest of it. But if you're going to go for a shite, this next story is going to help. It's called Your Shite is My Shite. Hamish walked to the pub toilet and opened the door. A guy was leaving, so Hamish held the door open for him, and the guy walked past with a word of thanks. Oh, at your service, your majesty. Hamish walked into the toilet. A guy was at one of the sinks, washing his hands. He walked away for the sink, leaving the tap running, dried his hands with a paper towel, left the paper towel crumpled next to the sink, and then walked out the door. Hamish shook his head, turned off the tap, and put the paper towel in the bin. He didn't know why he bothered doing it. He didn't work there. Maybe just did it to annoy himself. The toilet was empty now, except for him. He walked to one of the urinals, then decided to go to the cubicle instead. He only needed a pish, but he didn't want to have another encounter with these animals. He didn't want to pull down his zip and get started just for some guy to come in and join him. The pair of them pishing side by side. The other guy using a semi-private moment to get all his farts out. Recognise that one? So Hamish opened the cubicle door, walked inside, but then turned to walk right back out. It was fucking stinking. He had to look in the pan. The dickhead hadn't even bothered to flush. Like it was so stinking that even the guy that caused it had to make a sharp exit. Shite was splattered everywhere like a shotgun blast. And honestly, it was fucking stinking. And that smell, that was everything that was wrong with people. That just summed it up for him. That smell, that putrid smell, was humanity. People are disgusting, he thought. Fucking disgusting. Our disgusting ways ooze out us like shite, both literally and metaphorically, to the disgust of whoever has the misfortune of being caught up in its presence. Or was they just the guy at the door that didn't say thanks, or the one that left the tap running in the litter? It wasn't just that. It was everything. It was just everything. The things we say, the things we do, the way we treat each other. The things you read in the paper that leave you wondering, why? Why? Because we just can't help it, that's why. Just as we can't help making the fucking stench that comes out our arseholes. Vile creatures, so we are. Fucking pretending we're no, scrambling to disguise it, cover it up, waft it away. Pretend it doesn't happen or blame it on somebody else. And sometimes, as the case seemed to be in the literal shite here before him in the pan, we produce an odour so foul that no even we can bear to stay around long enough to flush the shite away. Hamish wondered what the metaphorical equivalent of being disgusted by your own shite would be. He wasn't sure if it was possible to do a shite so stinking that it disgusted even you yourself. He certainly couldn't remember such an occasion. It was an interesting thought. Why, he wondered, are we all right with our own shites, yet everybody else's can get to fuck? Why was that? It's not as if other people's shite smelled worse than their own. It's not as if our own shite smelled lovely. One shite was as bad as another, on average. This shite that he was currently being disgusted by, it could have been his own, theoretically. If an experiment was carried out where he was asked to do a shite in a toilet before being administered with memory-erasing drugs, then brought back in to smell this shite that he was unaware was his own, he imagined he'd be just as disgusted by it as he was by this one in the pan right now. Conversely, if an experiment was carried out where he was brought into a toilet and told that the disgusting shite in the pan was his own, without being told that the shite was actually done by another guy, he could imagine that he'd think, well, that's all right then, it's his own shite. It isn't disgusting anymore. He'd maybe even stay in the cubicle a while to savour it. But the fact was, this shite here, this one in the pan right now, was somebody else's shite. And that made it disgusting. And he didn't like that. There was something about that way of thinking that he didn't like. He didn't like what it signified. No, at all. That way of thinking, now that he thought about it, that was everything that was wrong with people. That way of loving the smell of your own shite, but hating the shite of others. Not just actual, literal shite, but that other shite, the symbolic shite, the metaphorical shite, the general shite within a person, the faults, the mistakes, the weaknesses, the shite that exists within each and every one of us. Had he himself always remembered to thank every person that opened a door for him? Or remembered to turn up every fucking tap? Or put every fucking paper towel in every fucking bin? He didn't like the way we were disgusted by the shite of others, but not so much by the shite of ourselves. Or, on a larger scale, the shite of our race, or the shite of our nation, or of our culture, or religion, or however else you want to look at it, our tribe. Humanity, he concluded, as he looked into the pan, would never be as one until we could say that your shite is my shite. Why did Jesus not just say that? He could have just said that. The shite back then in biblical days was every bit as honking as the shite today, and would be forevermore. It's all Jesus had to say. It's all the Bible had to say. It's all God had to say. Until your shite is my shite. Until your shite is my shite. Can we all say that together on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Until your shite is my shite. That's beautiful. He looked down at the shite in the pan. It was like somebody had put a firework in a jar in the Nutella. It really was. He got down on his knees slowly, put his hands on either side of the toilet seat, closed his eyes, and put his head inside the pan. Then he took a long, deep sniff of the excrement within. He was sick. On the shite. And then he was sick again. Which is a shame. I thought it was quite an interesting theory. But don't ask me to go in there and try having a sniff myself. Fuck that, man. Don't even know the guy. Thanks. Thank you very much. Cheers. That story is based on a true story. A true shite. It was a shite that I smelled about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago in a pub in Glasgow called Oran Moor. And I went into the cubicle. There wasn't a shite in the pan, but it was bad. It was really, really bad. It was bad. It smelled bad in the sense that it didn't smell right. You know, it smelled wrong. Like there was something kind of no right with the shite, or no right with the guy that did it. Like he was ill or dying or something like that. Like imagine if you saw the shite, it would look a bit green or like worse, kind of yellow. And it didn't just smell of shite, you know, it had this sort of kink to it. Like it kind of smelled, it had this undercurrent of guts. Like some of the shite, I know that shite comes from guts, but it was like some of the guts came out, or it's like some of the shite wasn't ready to come out yet. Like if you saw the shite in the pan, it would be kind of like too long. Like the guy had overshot or something. You can imagine it would look alright, but then one end, like the last bit to come out his arse, that would be a bit kind of soft or with bubbles in it or something, I don't know. But anyway, it inspired me to write that story because it was so bad that I had to tell myself, just you know, here, just imagine that you did it. Just imagine it's one of yours. And in other words, I lost my mind in there. I went insane in order to stay sane. That's how stinking that shite was. I thought I'd let you know because that guy's out there somewhere. So, take care. Well, everybody, that's the end of the stories. So now, it's time for the Q&A. So, thank you very much. So, if you've got a question, a serious question, a daft question, a question about the book, a question about Limmy Show, a question about anything, stick up your hand and let's hear it. Yeah, wait a minute. You there?
Hello.
Hello.
Any chance of a live Falconhoof with people from anywhere in the UK?
A live Falconhoof?
A live
Oh, wait a
Falconhoof.
minute. What, you mean here or actually I make that programme?
Yeah, make that programme.
I'd love that. I'd love that. Well, I mean, I don't know if you actually read in the paper, but BBC Scotland knocked back a Falconhoof sitcom spin-off. How do you feel about that? Because this is going out live in BBC Arts, you see, and there'll be somebody. I mean, you hear that? You hear them? You can't, you know, they'll just stop paying. They'll stop paying. They'll stop paying. I'd love to do a sitcom, right? That's what I wanted. But I would love even more to actually do the real thing and rake it in. Rake it in. Because people would phone in and go, oh, it's just a laugh. He's not really fleecing us. It's just a giggle. But no, I'm actually fleecing you. So I'd love to do that, the real thing. Aye. Well, it was him, but seeing as you went like, me? Aye. Have you got the same question? Oh, 2, right, well, Beardy.
Is there any chance of a return of Coco Jambo?
Coco Jambo. Use about 1% of you will know what I'm talking about. When on Twitter, right, I like to be a bit a bastard. Well, at least I used to. And I had this sort of... I changed my name on Twitter to Coco Jambo. I don't know if you know Coco Jambo by Mr. President. Yeah, Coco Jambo, yeah, ayo. For some reason I changed it to that and I turned into a total bastard and I started blocking everybody and I don't know what happened there, but maybe. Just for you. Are you on Twitter? Well, you tweet us tonight and I'll block you, right?
Hi there, Limmy.
Right.
We were playing Counter-Strike a few months ago.
Yeah.
And right at the end, I shot you by accident and you banned me, so can you get me back to the...
Sorry, right. Aye, right.
Yeah, get that sorted out.
So what would you want me to answer for that?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, I play this game called Counter-Strike. It's like Call of Duty, kind of running about shooting folk with other people online and we're all chatting and all that. And we've got these strict rules. See, at the end, we started playing it. You don't really have an ending. There's no ending. So we came up with this ending. Right, see the first team to get to 10, we'll do an execution. And that team, there's an execution in the game, but we're just making it up as we go along. And that says, we'll do an execution. Right, what happens is, see the losing team, I'll set you on fire. You've got to run through that door and then we chase you and stab fuck at you. We're coming up with all these execution ideas. But the thing is, to do the execution, nobody's got to play the normal game. Don't start shooting each other. Wait. So see somebody who, maybe like yourself, when it gets to 10, oh, good, right. Then, like, fuck you, ban. But, is that maybe what happened? So you admit that I'm not a bastard. You admit in front of all these people it's your own fault. So he's admitted it. But listen, if you come back on, I'll unban you, right? I will not. But, no, I will unban you. I'm not the admin of the server, but I will unban you. Don't worry about it. Anybody right up the back? I will unban you.
Hi, Limmy, how's it going?
All right.
I discovered you years ago because my mate for Whitburn, Robin, sent me a link to the birthday card thing.
Aye.
What the fuck was that? How did you have the card in the first place? How did you come up with the concept? Because it was amazing, but I still didn't get it. It's the most extreme, surreal fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
What do you mean? I got a birthday card for Blue. I'm freaking out, by the way. If you don't know, it's one of the first wee videos I made and stuck online about 2002. It's a real birthday card. It's a lot of shit. I kind of making it up as I went along. It's a birthday card that my girlfriend got for my birthday because I was kind of into Blue. No, you know that way you're into a band, but no in a serious way. You know, I like that song, but you know, like I like Blue, by the way. Blue are good, isn't they? Blue are good. Just that kind of, yes, sing along. So she got us a birthday card for Blue, and she was next door working in her office. So I made this wee video up to kind of... She was working late one night, and it was a Saturday, and they sort of cheer her up, as if she cares, though. I made her this sort of funny video. So I don't know if she actually liked it, but I thought, I'm going to stick this online now. And that was it. And it's one of these videos, I just made it up as I went along, with the wee remote control plugged into the camera. It wasn't edited. And people who like my stuff seem to like that a lot more than this stuff I knock my pan in to make. You know, it takes ages to film, takes ages to write, and I'm like, for weeks, I just can't find an ending to this thing, kind of thing. And I'm just making it up, I go to it for Blue. I'm freaking it, by the way. People are genius! So that's the story behind that. Or the alternative story is, I did get it for Blue. That's the thing, no. Anybody down in the front?
I was was just wondering about your vine. How long does it take you to make each vine?
6 seconds.
I walked straight into that one. I mean, like...
Each vine is 6 seconds long. Like, come up with it and that sort of thing.
Do you sit down and, like, think about what you're going to do, or does it just come to you? Like
There's some things where I go, oh, I'm looking forward to I've not done any vines for ages, really, right? But I had a wee kind of nice wee golden summer of vining when I first got a phone. It could actually vine quite well. The other one was rubbish. And I was just doing tons and tons and tons of them. And I'll just sort of come up with it. I mean, like, say, like the plaster one that I did, you know. That was based on, I did have like a plasterer in, we just moved this, a plaster in, and somebody fitting radiators and all this sort of carry on. And they would sort of come out with this sort of part of like, what? Don't worry, Ed, we'll get your kitchen finished because you need your kitchen. And I just stuck that vine up. I just recorded that, stuck on people like that. Brilliant. I'm like, I'll keep on going then. So, just sort of making up like Frosty Jacks, the Frosty Jacks vines. Hey! I just found a Victoria Park stay near Vicky Park in Glasgow, and near there somebody's left an empty bottle of Frosty Jack cider. So I just picked it up and pretended next to the road that I was steaming on Frosty Jacks. Hey! And blam blam! Ah! And things like that. Just kind of making it up, just like that. Right, what am I going to do? Just start recording and just see what happens. That's sort of like the best sort of things in a way, that rather than thinking about it and you look like a pure try-hard.
Could we get an example of you with your son beside you going, ah? Can we get a bit?
Ah! Hey, bother. Hey, bother. Yes.
How long did it take you to write the book? Did you have a few stories that you just put together, or did you just start from scratch and just go for it?
I had about a year to write it. I wasn't writing it for a year, but the book, I got the book deal because I wrote these Daft Wee Stories. I wasn't called like Daft Wee Stories officially, but I wrote these Daft Wee Stories on Facebook, and I like coming up with wee stories on my webcam, and on Twitter I would do these bedtime stories, just sort of coming up with shite. Right? I know that this is shite. I didn't say that. But just coming up with, thanks a lot, cheers. Just waiting for everybody else to go, like, so do we. I wrote these wee stories and I stuck them on my site, and just making them up, just I'm going to see what happens, just writing. And then this publisher got in touch and said, do you want to write a whole book? So he gave us a year to do it, and I had about 10 or something to start with, or that I kind of rejigged. But about a year, but that was like 95. Monday to Friday. Quite a lot of sort of lying about doing nothing. And the good thing about that kind of line of work is I can say to my girlfriend, especially now that we've got a son and I should be responsible and doing responsible things, I can lie on the couch doing nothing, watching Columbo, and say, no, this isn't doing nothing. This is like, I need to do this as a writer. I need to watch stuff and do nothing and go to the pictures and do nothing constantly and never look after my son and be a crap boyfriend. I have to in order to come up with this. So I had about a year. I could have maybe done it in 6 months, but again, about a year. Thanks. Anybody for there?
Hi, where did you get your inspiration for Jacqueline McCafferty?
Jacqueline McCafferty. Jacqueline McCafferty is a few people. The main thing, I came up with Jacqueline McCafferty was making my World of Glasgow podcast, which came before Limmy show, and I had like Jacqueline in it. And it was before I made the podcast, and I was writing down my ideas for characters and things like that. And then me and my girlfriend were travelling, doing this kind of studenty sort of around the world type of thing. And one of the places we went to was LA, and there was this wee kind of shopping centre sort of bit. It's got an outdoorsy bit with a wee fake sort of park and a wee fake sort of bridge going out a wee fake stream. Well, the bridge was actually real, wasn't it fake, right? It was a real thing. You wouldn't fall into the river if you went near it. Right? But there was a wee band playing in this bandstand, right? And it was about 1 in the afternoon, and there was this, some people were having a wee dance, and there was this woman there who looked exactly like how Jacqueline McCafferty looks. The kind of black thing and the wee kind of, what do you call that, waistcoat sort of thing, the whole lot, really, really smart. But she looked like a wee bit like she'd been through the mill a bit. It was, you know, it looked like she was an alkie or was a junkie or something. I can say that because I was an alkie. And if you get me in a junkie, I'll just lie and say I was a junkie and all. But she was dancing with what I assume to be her daughter, about 8 years old, right? And she was dancing like that. And she was kind of looking about to people like that when she was dancing. She wasn't really concentrating on her. She was looking about. And I just formed this whole sort of idea of what she was like. She looks like she had a rough time. Now she's got herself smartened up, right? I thought, she's not having it anymore. She's not taking it anymore. She wants to wear smart gear. Like pish-stained trackies with sick down the front. And like Jacqueline McCafferty, she's got her daughter back. Because the way she was looking about to everybody, it was kind of as if, you see, I'm a good man now. It was that, and I just sort of put the whole thing together. And the whole heroine, instead of heroin, I heard that on some documentary thing one night, a Scottish thing, and a lassie did say, something like, that I was on it for, that was about 2 years, I was on heroin. And I thought, she's saying heroin, I think she thinks that that's like the proper way. I'm saying it and like heroin's like that slang and heroine's like the phone voice sort of thing. So that's where she comes from. Anybody like that? Oh, it's up here. It's down here. I just went down the front. I'll go up there, right? You next, right? Here it comes, right? The person with the blue shirt, David Dumbleby here. Person with the blue shirt.
Limmy.
Hello.
What's the sound of the summer?
Sound of the summer? Check out Daft Punk's new single if you get the chance. Sound of the summer. That was a quick one, wasn't it?
So apart from Columbo and Daft Punk, who are your kind of influences or people that you like to watch or read or listen to?
I really like. I don't think about a lot of influences, but I really liked Tim and Eric. Tim and Eric, awesome show. Like when I mention that, there's about 1% of people. There's about 10 people in the crowd that clamor about it. Tim and who? Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. It's called. And between the first and second series, Limmy show, I watched. Somebody introduced me to that, and I started watching. I was like, this is brilliant. It's all really, really fast, a lot faster. Limmy show, fast editing, and it was just, it was cracking. I thought, right, I'm going to speed everything up for the second series and make it all mad. But influence-wise, I kind of prefer things that aren't really meant to be funny. Like, say, like some Hitchcock films or something when, like, you know, like Rear Window, when he sort of the baddie comes in and sort of shoves him, you know, these sounds like that, wee funnings, and it all goes sort of too fast, and then the way he falls at the window like that. Things like that, or when, like, the guy falls down the stairs when stabbed in Psycho, like that. Just things like that, you go, that looks mad, that. And I want to make things up that maybe make other people go, what the fuck is that? Like that, so kind of like that, or like real life sort of tragedies and bad things happening and finding humour in other people's, my misfortune and things like that. Just kind of life, you know. Thanks. Little Bear with the glasses. I was trying to say specs there, but I thought, is that offensive? I thought, what's it not offensive? With the specs, ooh!
Hi, is there any relation between Arnold from Arnold's Arse and Arnold from Arnold's Arse Eye?
The two stories, Arnold's Arse and Arnold's Arse Eye in the book. No, there's not the relation, but I noticed when I was writing the book, there was certain, I've got a habit of doing the same sort of thing, like people getting hit by a train. I would do another story, somebody getting hit by a train. This one, wait a minute, this is the 10th one I've wrote where somebody gets hit by a train. And Arnold's Arse, I think I maybe wrote that first, and then I wrote this other story where Arnold's Arse is about a guy who goes to the hospital. He discovers he's only got this one big giant arse cheek when he hole. And Arnold's arse eye, as he goes to the doctor and discovers he's got an eye up his arse that can see. And see, because the two are kind of similar, I thought I'll play a trick on yous. I'll make it look like it's kind of, no, this is like a kind of theme, but in fact it's me being samey. and running out of ideas and only doing things about arses, and then there's that shite hanging and everything. So there's that. I specialise in arse things, shite, and people getting hit by vehicles.
What was the most difficult story to write? What was the most challenging narrative?
Oh. Get out! Get out! Get me! Get me! Get me! Stop it, Cameron! Stop! He said narrative. I hate the word narrative. I can't even remember the question. I just got this red mist. The most difficult one was this one that I didn't actually end up finishing. It was called VHS, and there's this story I wrote where it's a guy cycling, right, and he's in the middle of nowhere. He gets a bit lost, and he's in the middle of nowhere, and he sees this guy going into the bushes, where like this kind of into the woods, with this poly bag with something, and he's kind of looking suspicious, and he goes in, and he comes out a wee bit later without the poly bag, and the guy in the bike's like, "What's that?" He goes past the guy, and the guy's like, "Oh, did you see me?" kind of attitude. He waits until the guy's away, and then the curiosity gets the better of him. He goes into the trees and everything, and he sees the poly bag, it's empty. But there, in a hole under the tree, is this VHS tape. It's all been ripped out and things like that, and smashed up. And he's thinking, what's this? This guy's like hidden this, he's disposed of this VHS tape. What's on that tape? What's so scandalous and embarrassing that he's got rid of it in this fashion? He doesn't even want to burn it. He doesn't even want to bin it just in case it gets traced back to him. So this guy on the bike, he takes the tape and he goes away with it. He scoots away. And I got to the end, he gets the tape up the road, and he has to buy a VHS player and all that, and puts it all together. And I thought, this has to be something that's embarrassing. But, is it that embarrassing, really? And I got to the end, and what I had in mind was he puts the tape in, and it's a wedding reception, right? And the groom is shaking everybody's horns and all that. And this guy, who he spotted, putting the tape down, goes to shake the groom's horn, but the groom doesn't see him, and he has to go like that. And like that was it. So I went, nah, that's shite. And I kept coming back to it a week later. No, because I was really enjoying it. And then at the end, I thought, fucking ban it. But you sort of thought it was a wee bit alright. But another night, I said that somebody asked the question, and they were all howling. So they liked it. Yous didn't. But I'll go with yous. I made the right decision, I think. Right. So that was a bit of a long answer. Sorry for boring fuck you. How are we doing for time? All right? All right, aye. Magic. I have to say magic in case it looks like, how are we doing for time? Fuck's sake, man. Could be right up the back there.
Hello.
Hello.
Quite often you have finds with your son in it. What does your son think you do for a job?
My son, he does know that I'm on the telly. Well, was on the telly. I don't dare Limmy show anymore. It's my choice, though. But that was in the past. It was a good laugh, but just wish that Falconhoof thing would have got commission, you know what I mean? He's seen me doing like the Tina Turner dancing competition thing, and he's done an impression before. He's wanted to see it, and he used to he'd say, "Oh, can I see that?" He knows like I'm Dee Dee. If I explain acting to him, he says, "Oh, like Dee Dee." I was like, "That's right," but I don't know if I've not really shown him Dee Dee. He just knows that I'm Dee Dee. I've not shown him like Dee Dee, like fucking, because he'd end up doing that. He started school now, and I don't want him to go like fucking. So he knows I did that, but he knows, like I've said to him, I've written this book, and I've written all the words. Daniel, come back, kind of no interested, see BBs. He sort of knows what I do, but he doesn't know if everybody else does that or not. You there. I can hear you, but wait. That's all we've got time for. That's
Two things. Do you have a regular sleeping schedule?
Once I'm finished playing Counter-Strike, it's time to go to bed. And that's about maybe 12 or 1 in the morning. And then I get up when I'm nudged by my girlfriend. That kind of thing, when it's my turn to get up with my son, or when I'm, like, get up, that's about it. But no, I don't do this 4 in the morning thing. I can't anymore with a son.
Also, have you thought about putting an album out?
A what?
Have you thought about putting out a music album?
A music? What, all my kind of daft techno stuff?
Yes.
Well, I don't know what you guys think of that. Oh, they do that in interview things, didn't they? I mean, I don't know what they think. Oh, well, maybe. No. I just think, well, it's on SoundCloud, and there it is. It's all for free anyway. It's like me saying, let me take what you get for free, and you've already heard. I'll put it together and charge you for it. And it's a download. It's like, well worth it. Did I hear there? Well, I could put together a kind of fake album.
Yeah.
Just get what I've done and stick it together. I make these rubbish kind of, I tried so hard. You like that one?
Smart casual.
Smart casual. Oh, that, like things like that. Oh, dumbbell dance. Things like that. Aye, maybe I'll do that in time for Christmas.
Good. All right.
Thanks. Yes. You can shout out and I'll repeat the question. If you can.
What's the most patronising thing that someone who doesn't get your humour but wants to keep in with you has said to you?
These people who don't get me, these bastards. They don't get us. I have heard people.
Maybe like a TV executive.
Well, I've heard people. All right. I've not really heard anything like that, but I have heard patronising things like. Saying I've heard patronising things makes me sound like I've got a chip in my shoulder. I've no. But I have been told things like, you know what's funny about your stuff? You probably wouldn't know this. You probably wouldn't I've been told that. You know what's funny about that sketch? You probably wouldn't have noticed this. Like as if I've kind of fluked it. As if I go, this boy wonder. That's the sort of pattern. I've not heard that for years, but that's a cracker, that one. You know what's clever about your stuff? You wouldn't know, but because you're only the guy that wrote it. But I've noticed it because I'm a clever cookie. That's about it. But nobody like who's no got it. I mean, I have heard wee things like maybe you should make it more like. But it's kind of like I was once asked about the accent thing when I was doing this meeting at the BBC between the first and second series, and they said, "What do you think about the accent?" I think they were maybe thinking of putting it UK wide, I'm not sure. And I said, what do you think about the accent? It's just, I was showing your DVD to some of the people on the floor here, and just some of the words go over their head. What do you think of that? And I was just, I'd like to tell you that I was like, well, no, what you see is what you get. Come, take me as I am. But no, I was ready to sell it right there and then. I was like, well, there's ways around it, there's ways around it. I don't have to be all slang. Didn't even get it anyway. Sold it. Didn't get the benefit of that selling it. That's my penance right now. This is my confession.
Hi, Limmy.
Right.
I was on your webcam once, and you compared me to Ramirez, the Night Stalker, the serial killer.
Aye.
I
think Ramirez is. Aye.
That's not my question, but.
I thought you were going to say you blocked me. A few people, and I've been doing these things. I was on this, you blocked me. Why did you ban me in Vine? I banned somebody in Vine. Aye, sorry.
No, tweets, short stories, sketches. You seem to be quite interested in short form. I was going to say narrative, but that guy kind of fucked it for me. But so, are you interested in
It's
doing...
your fault, by the way, getting him started.
Are you interested in doing any kind of longer things like...
I want to do, I mean, after this, I would like to do a book of kind of longer short stories, sort of. No, I'm serious. What did I say? I'm serious. No, you know, like, these are like really wee, these are like short stories, like, takes you 5 minutes to read it, but I mean like kind of Stephen King length, sort of 10,000 words, sort of bigger ones rather than sort of, there's a wee idea, it's away. Sort of kind of bigger ones that take a bit of time, that would fill a book like that, about 10 stories that fill a book, you know, so I can get right in it, and then hopefully write a novel. I'd like to do that, get right into something like that. But I want to work up to it in case I start doing a novel and go, this will be easy. And then I freak it and jump out a window or something like that. Or jump in front of a train.
Brian. Oh, we need to...
That's us?
Aye, sorry.
Who's the guy who said, come on, man, one more? One bit, right, one last one, is that all right? Just the last one, you can stay there.
Last one.
Yes. Sorry.
I wasn't planning this, so it's just spontaneous.
You're on the planet, he's fucking raging. Right.
Xander.
Aye.
We think Xander's brilliant. We just wondered where the idea came for that.
I just wanted to explore that side of my sexuality. Basically.
Turn me up.
I wouldn't be able to put it on the telly because it's pretty graphic. It's pornographic. But I'll do it for a wee video if you want me to kind of act to it and a wee bit on the side, a wee kind of Kickstarter thing. That's us, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Phil. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Phil. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming.
That was brilliant.